Good day, grade 12 learners. Welcome to today's business studies lesson. Today we look into now quality of performance, and the focus is on quality concepts. Now, we will be focusing on the application questions. This is basically your scenario and questions that will test you so that you get ready and have a better understanding. Now, the first question there instructs us to say, read the scenario below and answer questions that follow. Our scenario is based on Fancy Bag Manufacturer, FBM. Fancy Bag Manufacturer checks the quality of their leather during and after the production process. The supervisor uses a checklist to improve the quality of the product. Now, question 1, identify 2 quality concepts that are applicable to Fancy Bag Manufacturer. Motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario above. That is the first question. And the second one says, differentiate between quality control and quality assurance. Now let us go and analyze how we should go about solving such a question. We have our scenario again, Fancy Bag Manufacturer. The question expects us to identify the 2 quality concepts that are applicable to the scenario, because when we are talking about Fancy Bag Manufacturer, we are basically talking about the scenario. So you should remember your quality concepts. Remember, you have 4 quality concepts. This is your quality control, quality assurance, and quality performance, together with quality management. So when you are looking into Fancy Bag Manufacturer, you need to check to say, this business checks the quality of their leather during and after. And remember, when you're looking into a quality concept or any business studies content for that matter, it's important to underline and keep a reminder using your keywords. So the fact that they check during and after gives you an understanding and would help you now to pick up an answer from that statement to say they check the quality of their leather during and after the production process. And then when we look into the other part, the supervisor uses a checklist to improve the quality of the product. So you are supposed to identify the quality concept. Which quality concepts are affected there? There's 2. The first one becomes quality assurance because of the checking during and after the production process. So the answer there, you are supposed to provide it in this way: quality assurance. That's 2 marks for that. But remember, motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario above. So you need to quote. What do you quote? You quote that F, B, M. Remember, for exam purpose, you would write it fully. So Fancy Bag Manufacturer checks the quality of their leather during and after the production process. So that is how you quote and motivate. So the first part is the quality assurance. And how do you motivate now? You motivate by quoting from the scenario as I did, and then you get 1 mark for that. But remember, the question required of you to identify 2 quality concepts. So another quality concept that is applicable there, you check to say the supervisor uses a checklist. So what is a supervisor? A supervisor is part of the management of the business. So this means this supervisor now is a manager. So if they are using a checklist to improve, then it means they are using a tool to improve the quality of the business product. So this then makes the application of which concept? So the concept applicable there becomes now quality management. That is quality management. 2 marks for that. But now you have to quote in order to motivate. So how do you motivate? You motivate by quoting the supervisor. The supervisor uses a checklist. A checklist to improve the quality of the product. Now that is how you motivate, and you get 1 mark for that. However, there's this, which is what you should take now into consideration. Common errors. Learners fail to identify the quality concept from the given scenario. Why? Because they don't identify the keywords. So what was your keyword here is the checklist. And another keyword for you was what? The improvement. The supervisor using a checklist, which is a tool which is used to improve the quality of a product. And there's only one business or quality concepts that talk about improving the quality of a product, which becomes quality management. So this is what you should keep in mind when you prepare for your studies and for your assessments. And then another question was to differentiate between quality control and quality assurance. Let us see the difference. Quality control is a system that ensures desired quality is met by inspecting the final product to ensure that it meets the required standards. So what is key here is that the inspection is done on a final product. But quality assurance refers to checks carried out during and after the production process to ensure that the required standards have been met at every stage of the process. So basically this is done during, meaning while the business is busy making the product, then they would do the checks. But what is the difference when we are looking into quality control is that with quality control, the inspection of the final product, meaning the business is done. The business is done making the product. So the business is done making the product. The business is done making the product. Hence, now they do what? They do the final inspection, which we call quality control. But quality assurance, this refers to checks carried out during, while they are making the product, and after the production process, meaning after a stage, because in the process of making the product, there are stages, in order to ensure that the required standards have been met at each and every stage of making the product. So this is to say stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. It's similar to cooking. In the process of cooking, the stage 1, stage 2, if you're cooking a maize meal or your pap, you know that you start with water, boil water, that is stage 1. Stage 2, add in your maize meal, that is stage 2. So the checks have to be carried out during each and every stage of making the product. In that way, you ensure that quality would be met at each and every stage. Because if one stage is compromised, then that could lead to a mistake or a quality that is not what is required according to the standard. So that is your assessment. Now let us take a short break and we will continue with other application questions.